Good evening. I'd like to call to order the regular city commission meeting for February 16th, 2021 at 7:04 p.m. We have roll call, please.
Commissioner Drosky,
Here.
Commissioner Hudak,
Here.
Commissioner Preston,
Here.
Vice Mayor Cornez,
Here.
and Mayor Vance.
Here. If we could please have a moment of silence and the pledge of allegiance. Pledge of allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Thank you. We have acknowledgement of the city board meeting minutes and code compliance meeting minutes from October 6th, 2020, October 21st, 2020, November 3rd, 2020, November 18th, 2020, and December 8th, 2020.
Motion to approve.
We have a motion from the vice mayor, second by Commissioner Hudak. All in favor, say aye. Aye.
Aye.
Anyone opposed?
Aye.
You opposed?
No, aye.
Thank you.
I was on mute, sorry.
February 16th, 2021.
Motion approved.
Second. Motion by Commissioner Hudak, second by Commissioner Preston. All in favor, say aye. Aye.
Aye.
Those opposed? Okay. Madam Clerk.
Members of the public wishing to provide comments during tonight's meeting, 3 minutes will be provided. However, 1 additional minute can be granted by Mayor Vance. Anyone connected online via Zoom video must cover the mouse at the bottom of the computer screen and click the participant's tab. Then on the right side, a button marked raise hand will appear. Once you click that button, you will be recognized by your profile name and your audio will be unmuted. For those participating via mobile device or landline, simply dial *9 to raise your hand. You will be recognized by the last 3 digits of your phone number and unmuted at that time. Thank you.
Thank you very much. And we have our certificate of recognition here tonight. We have it's actually a certificate of appreciation. This is going to be presented to Mr. Doug Schwab for the outstanding accomplishments as the #1 distributor of African-American cinema in the United States. In 1997, Doug Schwab formed a company that is called Deerfield Beach Home for 24 years with the intention to satisfy a demand that was underserved and often overlooked: Black cinema. Since then, Maverick Entertainment Group has aided hundreds of Black independent filmmakers with directing, producing, and learning about the business of films. It has also served as a facilitator for the marketing exhibition of more than 900 independent Black films on all of the major home entertainment outlets, including Netflix, Tubi, Redbox, Sling, and YouTube, with more than 1 million subscribers. His success rests on the strong response of the African-American community and crossover audiences to Black films, thanks to strong marketing practices and solid relationships with major outlets. The filmmakers, producers, and actors Mr. Schwab works with come from all over the United States, and the magnificent final product is coming straight out of Deerfield Beach. His work has touched many lives, giving an opportunity in one of the movies he produced to a completely unknown aspiring actress that goes by the name of Eva Jacqueline Longoria, to fulfilling the dream of an Uber driver to see his own film shown on a network. The city is looking forward to supporting his continued success with the certificate recognizes the great work of Doug Schwab and Maverick Entertainment Group. Mr. Schwab, would you please come up? Thank you, sir.
Thank you, Mayor. Thank you, Vice Mayor. I just would like to say, I have a few minutes here.
Absolutely.
But I'm honored to be here. Appreciate the recognition from the city. My company, Maverick Entertainment, as you already stated, it was launched 24 years ago. We have been proud to call Deerfield Beach our home during that time frame. When initially we were contacted by Gigi with the city, we were proud and flabbergasted about the award, and we were looking very forward to coming here. Having officially met with Angelina and Chris Morey, City Deerfield Beach, we recap a history of creating opportunities for hundreds of filmmakers of color by offering both worldwide turnkey distribution as well as production funding, all generating out of our offices here at Deerfield Beach. Mavericks, as you said, has released over 900 films over the past 24 years. We've acquired 100 films and funded 20 plus films just last year in 2020 alone. We remain one of the world leaders in the genre and have successfully established branded channels built into many of the major television brands and platforms, such as you mentioned. Our goal is to be an outlet to tell people's visions and stories and let them be seen on the major distribution platforms around the world. Our business model has been and always will be centered around offering opportunity, diversity, and helping talented filmmakers tell their stories. So with that said, it's been a pleasure helping people and getting the films out into the marketplace and letting people that are used to not having the opportunity at the big Hollywood film studios, kind of an inner circle they work with, where we've excelled is given opportunity to people that don't always have a chance. And we're proud to call Deerfield Beach our home. We are looking to bring more productions into Florida. A lot of the productions we do now are run from California to Georgia to Florida, North Florida, South Florida, New York, Illinois. But we're trying to bring a lot more projects here into town. The one interesting thing is when our filmmakers see a film coming from Maverick, it's being signed, sealed, and delivered here in Deerfield Beach. We're making the deal. We're packaging the film poster. We're doing all the press and PR for it. We upload to all the platforms. And so when you see a movie on Hulu or Vudu or Tubi TV or other places like that, that was all done from Deerfield Beach. And we're just happy for the recognition and for the service that we provide. And we're looking at ramping up to even greater pastures.
Excellent. Thank you so
Thanks so
much.
Thank you.
Mr. Schwab, your certificate's right there on the podium there.
Thank you.
Thank you very much.
Yes, sir.
Next, we have a presentation. Aisha O'Neill, Mark Your Path Mentoring regarding the Little Sidewalk Library. Commissioner Preston.
This is something that has come to the city of Deerfield Beach, and it is of a significant nature. I am so proud of Ms. O'Neill and her husband, who care about this community. And this sidewalk library, let me just say, this is the only one in Deerfield. I'm hoping that this concept can be duplicated. The problem so often in the African American community is with the kids. What's the problem? So many of the kids don't read. And if they do, they don't read well. And then that plays itself out of putting them behind academically. And then there are people like Mrs. Aisha O'Neill, who puts together this sidewalk library. This is big. And so I'm very happy that she decided to do this. It was a vision of hers. I went over, I looked at it, it is absolutely awesome. It's just a great thing. It's going to help the community, and anybody who chooses to go and get a book and read is going to be, enhanced, elevated. This is a good thing. Teaching these kids to read is improved in a lot of other areas that if you were tracked, that you will see that. But most educators will tell you if the kid can't read, they're going to do well. And they get frustrated, and then they want to quit school, and it's a downward spiral from there. So, Aisha, thank you for coming, and I'd like for you to explain to the commission what you're doing.
Greetings, City officials of Deerfield. My name is Aisha Renee O'Neill, the founder of Market Path Mentoring Initiative. As a product of the City of Deerfield, it brings me nothing but great joy to pour out and overflow of what was poured into me. In this very place, the city, I have been able to achieve the level of success that I have today. The Little Free Library is the first of many projects that Market Path is committed to enacting within the community. Giving a child access to endless possibilities, setting them on a path that brings about positivity, not only in the community that they live in, but in the world as well. Self-development, education, and community service are the backbone of Market Path Mentoring Initiative. While the Little Free Library is the first of many in Deerfield, or the first to be in Deerfield, but we can't wait for more. I have no doubt that it won't be the last. We have so many seeds to sow, to pour into Deerfield. And I want to say thank you for having me here today.
Thank you very much for what you said.
If everyone look at the display, when they because of lack of funds and all kinds of challenges, they took old furniture and they became creative and they developed this. Didn't ask anybody for anything. She just kept working at it, and it's a really, really good thing. And this is something that has come to our city that I'm very, very happy with. And Mayor, I want to ask, is it possible for us to take, do you have a 501c?
Not yet, we're working on it.
Okay. If we can present her with something so that she can help her with this project, and it would be very beneficial if we can help her along with this.
It's probably something we can have on the upcoming agenda or talk to the staff about, see what we can do. Okay, that would be great. You take donations when it comes to books?
Yes, we unveiled on February 6th, and every day since I've had a plethora of books that have been donated, tubs and tubs of books. It's just overwhelming and it's amazing.
What is the address of this location?
It's located at 262 Southwest First Terrace.
Excellent. Thank you so much.
Thank you for your vision, Aisha.
Thank you
People
for
like
having
you will
me.
make a difference in the community, and you're well appreciated. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you very much. Thank you, Commissioner, for bringing that forward. Next up, we have a proclamation recognizing February 2021 as American Heart Month. The first proclamation recognizing American Heart Month was issued by President Lyndon B. Johnson in February 1964, 9 years after he had a heart attack. Since then, February has been declared American Heart Month. American Heart Month is observed to raise awareness of the importance of maintaining a healthy heart and to encourage healthy habits that help reduce the risk of heart disease. Heart disease kills over 600,000 Americans each year and is the leading cause of death, higher than all forms of cancer combined. It affects all ages, genders, and ethnicities. Risk factors include high cholesterol, high blood pressure, smoking, diabetes, and excessive alcohol use. The warning signs for heart disease have been known to appear when people are as young as 18 years old. Red flags such as high blood pressure should be taken seriously. Healthy habits like getting 30 minutes of exercise every day and talking with your doctor to develop healthy eating habits to promote heart health should be adopted. With organizations such as the American Heart Association and other cities like the City of Sunrise and Deerfield Beach working together, millions of people are enjoying longer and healthier lives. Now, therefore, I, Bill Gans, Mayor of the City of Deerfield Beach, forward in recognition thereof, do hereby proclaim February 2021 as American Heart Month. Assistant Deputy Mayor Jacqueline Guzman here on Zoom. Would you like to comment?
Yes, hi, thank you for having me. I just first want to apologize. My video is not on. I did not make it to the office with the rain, so I'm literally sitting in my car. But thank you for having the proclamation. For those who don't know, I am a two-time heart attack survivor. At the age of 30 years old, I suffered a silent heart attack, and a week later, a massive heart attack. So 9 years later, I'm still here. I'm a mom. I'm advocating in the community, and most recently elected to the City of Sunrise Commission. And I'm so thankful that you guys have also proclaimed the Heart Month. Thank you so much.
Thank you very much. Next, we have our service line warranties. Steve and Jonathan, you need to make a presentation. Is Steve Baranowski there?
Hi. Sorry about that. Can everybody hear me all right?
You might need to speak up a little bit louder.
Okay. All right. Well, thank you, Mayor Gans, commissioners. I appreciate you to allow me to join tonight. I won't take up too much of your time. I just want to introduce myself. My name is Steve Baranowski. I am your account manager with Service Line Warranties. We are the service line program that is endorsed by the National League of Cities. And I also wanted to let you know, we have my director and my senior director on the call to show the teamwork that we do for the city of Deerfield Beach. I just wanted to give you a brief overview of the program to let you know, who we are, what we do, and some of the initiatives we're working on with the city. If you go to the next slide, please. The next slide, please. There we go. Thank you. So we are we have serviced over 4.4 million households through over 1,000 municipalities, utilities, and association partnerships throughout the United States. And we also have an A+ rating with the Better Business Bureau. And we do take a lot of pride in that. We take pride in our customer service. When a resident has an unfortunate circumstance where they do have to file a claim, we like to take that load off their shoulders. All they have to do is make the phone call and we take everything from there. Next slide, please. So what do the residents of Deerfield Beach get whenever they enroll in our coverage? They do receive the 24-hour coverage. As everyone I'm sure is aware, that there's, emergencies don't happen 9 to 5. They happen any time of the day. So 1 or 2 o'clock in the morning, if they have to file a claim, they'll actually be able to speak to a live person. There is no deductible or a service fee for any contractor that would happen to go out. And like I said, all the residents have to do is give us a call. The contractor, they invoice us and we take care of all the payment to, like I said, take that weight off the residents' shoulders. Next slide, please. So we do have a current partnership with City Deerfield Beach. I know that it has not really launched as we would like in that we haven't mailed in a couple campaigns, and I do apologize for that, but I wanted to take this opportunity to kind of relaunch the program. We will be mailing, hopefully, fingers crossed, the end of February, and I will provide Jonathan the mailing dates as soon as possible. However, we currently have about 214 customers that have signed up for a total of 290 plans, which is, it's really fantastic in that it shows the room for growth, but there's also shows that there's been over $72,000 that customers have saved when they have filed the claim. So residents that have enrolled in the program have been able to use it and been able to find the value of the program. And the last couple of things I wanted to talk about is kind of where we go from here with the relaunch. Next slide, please. So this is an example of the mailer that will go out. It's a way to educate the residents on the responsibility. A lot of residents don't know that the water and sewer lines are their responsibility, and that's what we really use the mailers for. It's the education. They can also choose to enroll through the mailer, but they can choose to enroll anytime. They can go on our website, give us a call any time of the year to enroll. But that's not the only way that we promote the partnership. Next slide, please. We work with the city to promote through social media and website content, and I'll be working with Jonathan when we get ready to relaunch the program to do some social media posts and possibly do something on the city's website to really promote the partnership and show the residents of Deerfield Beach what is available to them. Next slide, please. Right, and also we do training for the city staff, and this is really any frontline staff that would be answering some phone calls. Resident stops in to pay a bill and has a question. And this is just a high level overview, provide them a background and just some general information about the program and some FAQs to help them answer those more simpler questions about, hey, I received this as a mail, and basically just vetting the process. And next slide, please. The last thing I wanted to point out to you is what we have is a Home Serve Cares Foundation. This is very important to us. We use this on basically 4 different fronts, but what I really like to promote is the caring for people. This would be for any resident of the city that doesn't have a program through us, and some type of emergency happens, and we would work with a contractor to go out and have the repair fixed at no cost to the resident. And another thing we like to do too, we do team up with vets to help them get some apprenticeships with different contractors throughout the city and in the area if they're looking to get into that field. So Home Serve Cares is here for the city of Deerfield Beach as well. So that's really all I had to review. I just wanted to see if there's any questions.
Commissioner Drosky, I know you sponsored this. Do you have any comments?
Thank you. Thank you, Mayor. Pardon me, I had to unmute myself. I've had a lot of exposure to this program through the National League of Cities as the representative. And I know we had this in the past, and there was an issue, I guess, with the marketing materials, and it's been several years. So, obviously it's a very good program. The benefits are worthwhile. It's up to each individual homeowner to decide if it's right for them and their family. But I mean, I think the opportunity to at least give the residents of Deerfield Beach the option to participate in this program is long overdue. So I'm glad that they're taking the time to work with Jonathan and re-kick this off. So I appreciate the presentation tonight. Thank you.
Thank you.
My pleasure. I am looking forward to serving the residents.
Okay. Commissioner Hudak?
Thank you. Yeah, I actually signed up for a couple of these services, and I think they're, so far I haven't had to use it, but that's great. One thing that I would recommend with regards to the mailings, it seemed like every month I was getting a mailing, but it was a different product. One was for the sewer line, one was for electricity, one was for some, and it was very, very confusing. I don't know which product I have, which one I don't have. Did I sign up for this one already? So I'm hoping when you do your mailing out, it's one letter that shows the different products or something, because it just seemed like I got this thing 5 times and I thought I signed up, and then all of a sudden it's like, well, maybe it's a different product. So, and it's just from a consumer's point of view, some feedback that you may want to look at with regards to your next contact.
Correct. Yeah, thank you. I definitely know there was confusion. So the mailer that will be going out either the end of February here or the beginning of March, hopefully, it's going to be just for the water coverage. However, there is the opportunity, if residents are interested, if they go on their website or call in to enroll in the different coverages as well. But the letter that's going out to educate will just be focused on the water. And we do try to space them out, because we definitely don't want that overload. So we do try to wait at least 90 days in between the mailers, but typically it's a little bit more than that. But we can definitely look into on a sewer offer. If they want to enroll, we can let them know that they're already enrolled in water, so they won't get the water mailer, they only get the sewer mailer. So if that makes sense.
Okay. Thank you, sir. Appreciate it.
Thank you.
Commissioner Drosky, you sponsored the next item. Would you like to go ahead and take that?
Sorry, I was on mute again. I will definitely kick this one off. January 16th, there was a shredding event in District 4, really on the border of District 3. And Jethro and Caesar were there, and typically, I'm told at one of our typical shredding events in the city, we get about 50 residents that show up. This one had over 200. And I was very impressed with the way Jethro and Caesar handled the traffic flow. And more importantly, from watching from afar, you wouldn't believe what people try and bring to shred at these events. You would think that you just bring your paper to shred, but some people bring like their kitchen sinks to come to this event. And they were very diligent and they were very polite about pulling out the materials that could not go through the shredder. And it was very well run and very well organized. And it was just the two of them against 200 residents. And I thought they did a great job, and they should be recognized tonight.
Thank you so much. Appreciate that. Are they here tonight? Are they online? Jethro's here?
Thank you so much. I'm online. I'm listening. So thank you for the award. So I appreciate it. So thank you very much.
Outstanding job, Jethro. Thank you very, very much. Next, we have a certificate of recognition, appreciation, and honor of Suzanne Scott, Administrative Assistant, Department of Legislative and Community Affairs. And I believe, well, I'm going to do the honors. Mrs. Suzanne Scott has been a dedicated and caring administrative assistant to the Department of Legislative and Community Affairs Department, formerly known as the Community Development Department, for over 17 years. Suzanne has been a hardworking employee that has always had the employees and her team's best interests at heart. Suzanne has always dedicated herself to assuring staff has the resources available to improve the department's performance, to support the team, and provide service to our residents. Suzanne would never hesitate to assist with projects to ensure that deadlines are always met, and our best wishes to Suzanne on her retirement, and we sincerely wish Suzanne all the best in her future endeavors. Suzanne?
Thank you for your kind words. It's been a great experience. I shall miss being a part of this tribe family, and time to move on to different things, next phase of my life. So I will miss you all greatly. And I just want you to know how much I appreciate having the opportunity to work with many of you. And I truly appreciate all you do and all the work that we do for our Deerfield Beach residents. So I'll miss you all. Best wishes. Thank you.
Thank you, Suzanne. Best travels, and thank you for all your hard work. We really appreciate it. Next, we have Cassie. Is Cassie here tonight?
She's online.
You're online. Okay. Much like Suzanne's situation, this one's tough. Cassie started her Deerfield Beach career on October 1st, 2012 as Manager 1 for special events. Over the years, Cassie remained focused on delivery of good community programming and received several promotions, leading to her current title as Assistant Director of Parks and Recreation. During her 8-year tenure with the city, Cassie was key in developing new events such as the Ocean Brews and Blues. She was instrumental in transforming the Country Music Fest to Boots and Bourbon. Cassie had direct influence on bringing Pioneer Days and Ocean Way holiday lighting to new levels. She also worked with Kaboom to have a grant-funded playground installed at Hillsborough Technology Center. Cassie's met the expectations of the city's commitment to serve and has earned our sincere appreciation for her service. Please join us in wishing you, Ms. Moore, all the best in her future endeavors. Thank you so much, Cassie.
Thank you, guys. Everything, you helped me grow a lot in my career. I look forward to coming to these events and being a participant in them moving forward versus the one running them. So I will be out there. I will be present. I'm excited to see what the city continues to do. And I'm only a phone call away. If you all ever need anything, you know how to find me. Us in the Parks and Recreation field, we work together, on putting things out there and making our fields grow. So thank you again for all of the support you've given me while I was with the city.
Thank you so much, Cassie. We appreciate it. Best of luck to you. Next, we have a proclamation. presented to the Alliance for Eating Disorders Awareness in recognition of Eating Disorders Awareness Week, which will run from February 22nd, 2021 to February 28th, 2021. The Alliance for Eating Disorders Awareness, a 501c3 nonprofit organization, is a leading national eating disorders organization headquartered in the state of Florida and dedicated to the outreach, education, support, and early intervention for all eating disorders. Eating disorders affect 28.8 million Americans during their lifetime, include the specific disorders of anorexia nervosa, bulimia nervosa, binge eating disorder, and avoidant restrictive food intake disorder. Eating disorders are associated with serious physical health consequences, including irregular heartbeats, heart disease and failure, kidney failure, osteoporosis, gastric rupture, tooth decay, obesity, gallbladder disease, diabetes, and death. At least once every 52 minutes, someone dies as a direct result of an eating disorder, resulting in 10,200 deaths per year. Eating disorders know no boundaries with respect to genders, gender identity, ages, races, ethnicities, body shapes and weights, abilities, sexual orientations, and socioeconomic statuses. The yearly economic cost of eating disorders is $64.7 billion. But with early detection, intervention, full recovery from the eating disorder is possible. Now, therefore, I, Bill Gans, the mayor of the city of Deerfield Beach, Florida, do hereby proclaim February 22nd through February 28th of 2021 as Eating Disorders Awareness Week. And we have Miss Emily Light. Are you online, Emily?
I am. Hi, my name is Emily. I'm an advocacy intern at the Alliance for Eating Disorders Awareness, and we're very grateful for this recognition and the continuous support of Deerfield Beach. We are a nonprofit located with our headquarters in South Florida. And although it is National Eating Disorder Awareness Week, the Alliance is trying to go above and beyond that. So we are having our first national event to celebrate people's recovery. So the Not One More weekend will be taking place between February 26th and February 28th. And we really hope to be able to continue and help people through their recovery. And we're really grateful for the continuous support of Deerfield Beach.
Thank you very much. If you can make sure you send us all the information that you have so we can put it on our social media accounts, we really appreciate it.
Okay, thank you so much.
Thank you very, very much.
Okay. Item number 9 and item number 9 and 10 on the agenda are related items concerning the same property. Ms. Forbes is here to present on behalf of the applicant. I believe she did a presentation during first reading. I think to the extent you want to hear the presentation again, she's going to be presenting these items together, but we should hold separate votes on items numbers 9 and 10, and the public should often have an opportunity to speak on both of them. So I'm going to go ahead and read in the titles for item numbers 9 and 10, if that's okay, Mayor.
Sure.
Okay. Item number 9 is an ordinance of the City Commission of the City of Deerfield Beach, Florida, rezoning approximately 0.8688 gross acres located at 111, 121, 131, and 141 Southwest 2nd Terrace from residence single family RS7 to residence multifamily RM10, application 19R 186, providing for a maximum 8 townhouse dwelling units, providing for severability conflicts and an effective date. Item number 10 is a plat application from Southern Dream Properties LLC for a plat note amendment requesting approval to amend the restricted plat note on the Laura and Glendale's Estates plat to provide for 8 townhome units and 4 single-family units on the plat. And Ms. Forbes is here to present on behalf of the applicant.
Evening, Mr. Mayor, members of the commission, Stephen Forbes for the record with the Melbourne Planning Group, a SEPI company.
Ms. Forbes, before you get started, my apologies. Just you do have the right to a more formal quasi-judicial hearing, calling witnesses, being sworn in, cross-examination. If you so choose, you also have the ability to waive that, in which we'll be in a more informal setting. Do you choose to waive?
We'll waive, please. Thank you.
Thank you.
So I won't rehash the whole presentation from the first hearing, but I do have just a quick slide to run over our new item today, which is the plat note amendment. I'm not sure if we can pull that up really quick. Thank you. Okay, so the plat note amendment, you might have also heard this called a delegation request, and it's simply to ensure that the note on the face of the plat is consistent with what we are proposing. Currently, it covers both our 4 lots and the 4 lots across the street, and that's very common for plats to cover more than just the subject parcel or one owner's parcel. Sometimes you have hundreds of properties in one plat. So the current plat note reads that the plat is restricted to 8 single-family detached units. And the request is simply to ensure that the plat face reflects what we're proposing through the rezoning and the future site plan. And that proposed note would then read that the plat is restricted to 8 townhouse units on lots 1 to 4, and keeping the development rights for the other 4 lots, lots 5 to 8, as those 4 single-family detached lots at this time. So the process for that plat note amendment will be that obviously we're here before you tonight for approval, and then platting is largely a county process, so they'll review that at the county level and review for impacts and assess potentially additional fees based on those impacts. And then it'll go through the commission hearing process. It's typically, I would say, probably 99.9% of the time approved on consent agenda at the commission level. And then we would be able to go forward with the site planning process. So that's kind of the plat note amendment that we're here for tonight, along with second reading of the rezoning, which again is just to change the current zoning from the RS7 to the RM10 district.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Is there any comments with staff? I think that is a no.
That's correct, Mayor. The staff has no additional comments other than what we said at the previous meeting.
Okay, is there anyone from the public who care to comment on item number 9? See what written in? No? I don't see anybody with their hand raised online. Is there anyone here in the audience comment on this item? No?
Terry Scott, 180 Southwest 3rd Avenue. Mayor, again, and commissioners, again tonight. We know in the first meeting it was passed. But again, this community is disheartened and displeased with that. I have taken the pleasure of walking the community myself, along with mothers, to hear what the people, the community has to say. And no one in that community agrees with these townhome units going up. Totally a disagreement. We ask that you all please hear this community. Again, I would say to you all that don't live in District 2, it's hard to make a decision when you don't live right there. We want development. I had a chance to speak to this board. I heard that was negative to say we was negative about it. This community was not negative about the project. We don't mind a project coming. We don't mind single-family homes. We think it would add beautification. We just don't want those 8 townhomes. That's what we don't want. So I will ask if you all hear the heart of the community. And then, as I told before, they need to come and meet with the community. They need to hear what the people that live in that area has to say. Just not this commission, but the people that live there. Hear what they have to say. They should have a say in this matter. So tonight, again, I'm going to say to you all, hear the community and what they have to say about this. And I think we can all live in peace and harmony. Thank you.
Mr. Scott, can I ask you a question? What is the objection to the townhomes? Because you said you want to be heard, but what is the objection? You haven't given me one.
The community doesn't want townhomes there, Mayor.
Why?
Because of a height. it's not gonna look good in that community. And I don't think that we ought to be imposing ourselves on the community.
What's not gonna look at the height, you said?
The height,
Okay.
2 stories of townhomes there. The community is all for single-family homes. Every last home I went to on yesterday, and I visited.
You answered my question. I appreciate it.
Okay, all right, thank you.
Is that the only reason you have, is the height?
The height.
Okay.
Yes, sir, the height.
Thank you very much. Is there anyone else in the public? Yes, ma'am.
My name is Shirley Sands, and I live at 182 Southwest First Court. And I'm for single family homes, but I'm not up for, I'm not for rezoning the area, because who's to say whether or not in a few years they'll have another rezoning, which will bring in warehouses and stuff like that. And I know right next door to me, the house does not belong to the guy who lives there. He lives in Boca, and he might decide to sell it and build a warehouse. I don't know. But anyway, that was my concern about it. I just don't like the idea of building multifamily homes, but I would love to have single family homes in the area, because I've been there for over 30 years. And like I said before, I've been here a long time. I've been here when we only have 2 traffic lights in Deerfield, one on Dixie and one on Federal. So I've been here a long time.
Thank you, ma'am. Anyone else from the public?
Afternoon. I'm Cornelia Wright, and I'm at 163 Southwest First Court, Deerfield Beach. I have been in that home for over 25 years, and I'm in agreement with the single family homes based on the fact that the height of those buildings is not going to look appropriate for those single family homes, and I really would appreciate that we have single family homes.
Thank you very much. Anyone else from the public?
Good evening, Commissioner. I'm actually opposed to.
I'm sorry, I need your name and address.
I'm sorry, Laura Parrish, 130 Southwest Second Terrace. I actually built the house directly across from where the townhomes are being proposed. And my main concern is parking. Southern Dream actually built homes under another company directly behind me. And we already have issues of residents parking over the sidewalk. So that's my main concern, that we're gonna have the same exact issue with the townhomes being clustered across that property. Thank you.
Thank you. Is there anyone else in the public on this side? Let's see, anyone else on? I'm going to close it to the public. The one thing I'm going to say, and I don't know if we can bring Google Earth and bring up what this area looks like and the homes that are there. If height is the biggest concern, and that's why you're opposed to townhomes, height is going to be a problem if you have single family homes there. They're allowed to go up to 3 stories. That's what the code currently says. So whether it's a townhome or a single family home, they can go up to 3 stories. Someone could build a 2-story house there. That wouldn't be a problem. They're allowed under code. That's their right. So the argument as far as height doesn't make a lot of sense to me, because current code allows for homes to be 2 stories. Now, there aren't a lot over there, but there are a lot of homes that are set up certainly to have more than one family in there. Right directly to the north, across the street, as you move further west, all of those are quadplexes. Some of the worst looking in Deerfield Beach, quite frankly. Same to the south, 2 blocks to the south. You have homes that actually look like trailers, but I believe they're concrete. And some antiquated type of development that was there. But that right there is not what I would call something that lifts up the neighborhood. Now, Miss White, or with the parking situations, Miss Parrish that she brought up, You have a gorgeous home, absolutely beautiful home that's over there. And as far as the parking thing, that's not something we're addressing here tonight. The parking issue, there are people parking over the sidewalk. There's a way for us to go after them, and the code should be going after doing that. But the home that's right next to it, it has shutters up on it. It's got a couch in the front yard. This area is desperately in need of a shot in the arm. So if the biggest issue is height is taken off the table because it's already allowed to be higher than what you think is allowed there. Single family or not, it can be up to 3 stories. That's the code. Am I incorrect in that?
Yes, that's my understanding. Mayor, you are correct.
Okay, so when I hear that, it doesn't make a lot of sense to me. That's why I was curious to know what exactly is an objection, because you can say a lot, but not say anything. And I finally heard what the objection is, it's height. So if you walk the neighborhood and you see what's going on there, then you have seen that area is in need of a desperate shot in the arm to be improved. And this is the step in the right direction, in my opinion. So there's a lot of areas over there, and there are some nice houses. There's some places that people are doing a great job over there, but it needs a shot in the arm. It needs places like the Masonic Lodge that's over there that hasn't had paint on it. It looks like maybe 50 years, an improvement there. There's a lot of things to be done to lift up that neighborhood. This is one of them. Commissioner Preston.
Thank you, Mayor. I received a multiplicity of calls, and the calls that I received was simply around the mayor of the resident opposing the project. And as I said before, the single family home concept brings more stability. And it's, you have the possibility that these townhomes can be turned into rental units. And as you say, it needs a shot in the arm, but what brings the best shot in the arm to me? And that is single family home structure. That brings the best for the community. And the community for the longest time have wanted something like that. And I think it's important to listen to what the residents of the people who live there, what are they saying? They're saying that we're not opposed to something coming to the community. It's just what comes to the community. And that may be a part of the process. I spoke with the board. Our conversation was very positive. And I directed her to, talk to some other people. And as I understand, I just heard that there's going to be some meeting. The whole idea, it was said that Mary, you said about the parking. That's not why we're here tonight. But the whole idea is to address some of these things now before they become a problem, because after it's built, it's a problem. And then we have to address it. So, the concerns of the community, the concerns of the people who live in the community ought to be taken seriously. You have to look at it, and then you have to say, here's what we think from the city's perspective, but also let's see what the residents are saying. And maybe somewhere in there is some amenable compromise. I still have challenges with it because the calls that I'm getting as a representative of that district is saying that we would rather have single family home. Question is, does that matter? To me, it does.
Thank you, Commissioner. Vice Mayor Parnas.
How long has that lot been vacant? If I remember correctly, about 50 years. Am I correct?
Possibly.
Okay. Things change. Neighborhoods change. We have an opportunity here to add some new homes. What you're saying is the objection I hear, well, they're too tall. No, they're within code. Well, we would like single family homes. Well, obviously for 50 years, no builder is willing to do that. So what do? Wait for another 50 years so maybe a builder will come along and meet the satisfaction of the local people? Do we just leave it vacant for the next 100 years because nobody wants to build single family homes on it? these homes are single-family homes, but they're called townhouses. And yes, they look a little different than what's there now. But then Century Village, which houses 16,000 people in season, was a dairy farm. Imagine if the people in the neighborhood said, we only want a farm there. And so 85 acres of land, which has been a very good tax revenue source for the city, would stay vacant because the neighborhood said a house doesn't fit in with farmland. Century Village was a dairy farm. And look at it now. I would approve this project on the basis that after 50 years, somebody was going to comply and build a few single-family homes on it, it would have been done. But obviously, no builder's willing to do that. So we have a choice: improve the neighborhood with some townhouses, or just leave another empty lot for another 50 years. No, I support this project.
Thank you, Vice Mayor. Commissioner Hudak?
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. The commission has a very difficult decision to make with regards to this project. The commissioner who represents the area has a certain opinion on it, and I value his opinion greatly. But I also listened to, what our vice mayor just said, and I listened to that. And again, this property has been vacant for 50 years. The major concern we first heard was taxes, and that our taxes would go up. And then this concern was the height. And again, an individual can put, 4 3-story single-family homes on those properties. And it's been 50 years and they still haven't. And there's a reason for that. We have been looking for ways to improve that area, whether it's through business opportunities, whether it's through workforce housing. Here we have a developer that wants to go in and start the improvement of this area. And we have heard from a couple of residents that are concerned about those improvements. I've been through the area, and these are single-family homes. They just happen to be townhomes. If I build a home there, I could rent it out, just like a number of individuals have in that area. There are a number of rental properties in that area as well. So just because it's a townhome does not mean that the individual who purchased it is not going to be living in it. And again, it's been 50 years since this property has been left vacant. And now we have an opportunity to have a developer come in and start the development of the area. The area needs development, and this is an opportunity that I don't think we should pass up. Again, we haven't seen the design plans. We can work on the parking challenges. That's not at this stage yet. Right now, we're just talking about the zoning to allow this type of a structure to be built on that vacant land. And I, as well, am leaning towards approving this. And that's, I've won.
Thank you, Commissioner. Commissioner Preston?
Yes, thank you, Mayor. It was said that, you have a company that wants to come in and make the area better. That's not necessarily so. You're coming in because there is property availability. And the reason that there are challenges here, and we talk about that for such a long time, there hasn't been anything for 50 years. But here's the problem. For 50 years, District 2 was left behind, and it shouldn't have been left behind. If it had been kept up and there was a pace of people caring about it and allowing it to grow at the same pace as the other district, we wouldn't be talking about this. It was left behind and for 50 years, and so then anything comes along now, we'll say, okay, let's do it. No. It's not necessary that people are coming to revitalize the area. It's that there's property availability. And so, and when that's the case, that's a whole nother concept. And had there been a economic pace in the district as the city grew, we would be talking about a whole other thing now in terms of revitalization. But we can't have that conversation because the fact of the matter is that that property was left on a bit, was left undeveloped. And we gotta ask that question, why? Why was it left undeveloped? And we think about it and we look at it, I think the answer is pretty much easy. It was just left behind because of the area, because of the lack of businesses. The opportunities that were available to other districts was not available to that district. So we end up where we are right now.
I'm going to disagree with you very strongly. And I'll tell you why. Other districts don't reject townhomes. I don't know what this trying to lay that is this the neighborhood's been left behind. It's one block off of the biggest commercial road we have in Deerfield Beach, other than Federal Highway. If you go around all the corridors, look at what happens. Most of them are staggered off those roads with townhomes or other types of developments that move forward. Take a look at, walk that neighborhood. You know what that neighborhood looks like. You know that rentals is not the problem. Take a look at what's across the street, the north side of the road, all the way west. Take a look at every single one of those over there. Go look at it now and tell me about the mattresses and all the stuff that's piled, all the garbage that's piled in the front right there. And tell me how this is going to be a problem for the neighborhood. Maybe the problem that the neighborhood hasn't improved is because people are shooting down something as benign as this type of project.
I never said this is a problem.
This project right here is exactly the kind of thing that other neighborhoods would want. I don't know why this is a problem here. No, that's why I specifically asked, because I want to get to what the core issue is. I've heard height. I've heard we're afraid of taxes going up when we know that that's not the case because of the homestead exemption. And if you're not there, that means if you're not homesteaded, then that means you're a renter. So that means you're kind of going against people of your own kind. You're renting. No crime in that. People can build a single family home there and rent it out. That could happen. The reason we don't talk about parking now is that's not what's in front of us. This is not the time. The next time it comes in front of us when the site plan is what we're approving, certainly that's the time when we go after that. But I think part of the reason why this area isn't being developed is we have people that are going to turn a blind eye to what the neighborhood actually really looks like. Walk it, look it. It's one of the worst areas in Deerfield Beach.
And there's a reason for that.
Yeah, there is a reason for that. It's because we're shooting down good development that's looking to come in there. Maybe we should stop doing that and start going ahead and looking at what's going to improve the neighborhood. That's my opinion. Hey, I get to speak.
Okay, fine.
I get to speak.
Yeah, but you're looking at me and you're talking to me.
Because I am talking to you because you're the one that objects. Yeah. So we're not going back and forth. You get the opportunity in a moment here. But that's my strong opinion. If you look at that neighborhood, walk the neighborhood, take a look at the neighborhood, you know the neighborhood, Commissioner. Anybody that does that, you cannot tell me that this is going to be a problem for that neighborhood. If you have a problem with that, you should have bigger issues with the neighborhood. Walk it, look at it. The house right next door to it has a couch in the front yard. It has metal shutters up on its windows. This is something that's a huge improvement over that. Now, every area has their problems, but this is something that's a good improvement. I certainly have defended areas in the city where we've tried to put things that are too big, too much, and we don't need to take every single development where it comes forward. Certainly not. I've proven that. You can look at it. Look at the Dixie Highway project try to come forward and destroy the neighborhood in District 2. That kind of development we don't need. This kind of development, I really don't understand it. That's why I've tried to get to the core of what the real issue is. And no one has given me an answer that makes a lot of sense. So, go ahead, Commissioner President.
Nobody said that, Mayor, that this was a bad project. The people just simply said they have concerns about the project that's coming in. And you were saying that look at the area. Well, let's look at the area. There's a reason why it looks the way that it looks. There's a reason why. You know what that reason is? The reason is that as this city was growing and as it was paying attention to other areas, it was not paying attention to that area. So it was left there. They were not incorporated into a plan, a scheme to lift all of Deerfield. So as Deerfield grew, we'd have to ask the question, how come all of Deerfield grew except that area? from all of Deerfield Group. If we dig at the core of the answer to that, the reason is that they were systematically left behind. That's a fact. Now how do we change it? But if we say that there is no problem, it never existed, then we are actually in denial. It was systematically left behind. And we've said, I've heard it tonight, that piece of land has been there for 50 years, and it was left vacant for 50 years. You know why it was left vacant? Because nobody's gonna come in, like you say, using the.
I didn't say that, okay.
No, well, what I'm.
I understand.
Yeah.
Interrupt.
Okay, for 50 years, it wasn't developed. Because when people drive by and look at it, say, well, I'm not gonna build there. There's a reason why that happened. When you get off of I-95 and start driving east, how many people would be attracted to say, I would like to establish a business in this area? The aesthetics alone challenges that thought process in the business prospect of that happening. And so when you have that, you know, that type of challenge, you're not going to get a lot of progress. You're not going to get a lot of takers to come in and say, I want to do something. And then when something does come in, we get to say, well, that's been there, been that way for a long time. We got a chance to change it. The best way to change it is to say to the community who lives there, hey, what do you want to see there? Talk to the community. And then maybe we can find a compromise. But the fact of the matter is, without a doubt, District 2 in certain areas was just simply left out of the concept as a city group. You look at District 1, does it look like that? Absolutely not. District 3, it does not. District 4, it does not. Why? Because they weren't left behind. That's a fact.
Part of the issue, and to answer your question, and no doubt there are certain areas of the city that are left behind, but you posed the question, how do we change it? Simple, by approving reasonable, attractive development. That's exactly what this is. How do you want to stay stagnant? Stay exactly where you are and scare people from wanting to bring in a reasonable, attractive development is by shooting down projects like this. This is the worst thing you can do if you're trying to send a message for people to come in and develop in that area. It is the worst message you can send, because this is not a project that is horrible. It's not unpalatable. It's not even in the realm of that, in my strong opinion. And we've seen bad ones come forward. And then we've seen bad ones come forward and try to be rammed down the throat of District 2. And we've said no. Not everybody said no, but we've certainly said no plenty of times. And we should continue to do that. But the worst thing you can do for an area that you want to improve is take a reasonable project like this and shoot it down. Because I tell you right now, you won't have any more development and you'll stay just as stagnant as it's been the last 50 years. No excuses, no other reason why. We're moving forward and trying to improve the area. This is the opportunity to do it. I see I've got Vice Mayor Parnas got his hand up. We'll come back. Vice Mayor? You need to unmute, Vice Mayor. You might be saying something important. Sean, I see you have your hand raised. We've already closed it to the public at this point. Commissioner, we can't hear you. Can we unmute him? I'm going to hit go to you, Commissioner Press.
Let me make it clear that I'm not here to try to scare anybody and scare any projects away. But I'm also tell you that if you're interested in doing anything in District 2, I welcome that conversation. And there's a community that will welcome that conversation as well. The idea is not to push people away. What we don't want is for projects to come in and push us away. Talk to the community. What is it that they want? What are their concerns? Let's face it, all that's happening right now, the fact of the matter is, this is going to go through. Whether District 2 likes it or not, it's a done deal. So, but the point is, at least I can say that the constituents have a feeling about being heard. But then this whole thing about, a piece of property that has been vacant for such a long time without explaining why and embracing the problems as to why, that means we won't ever grow to the next level. We have to accept exactly why we got in this situation, and it's not a good one. A whole group of people, a whole segment of our community was systematically excluded. That's a fact. Now, when we can recognize that, then we can actually come up with ideas that would lift the community. And in lifting District 2, we lift all of Deerfield. But it just can't be, well, hey, there's some property availability. It's a good thing. It looks better than what's there already. So it's good. No, I think that when the community says that it's good, when the city says that it's good, then it's good because it serves everybody. Okay, but this is a done deal anyway. I'm just letting you know how people feel because every call that I got, I didn't get one call that said, hey, Commissioner, I want you to be my voice tonight and let the other commissioners know that I'm in favor of this. Now, why is that not the case? Why is that not the case? I wondered about that, and I asked people, tell me what's your issue? A lot of people addressed how it would look. We just feel that single-family homes is more stable for the community, and that's what we'd like to see. And so, therefore, there are feelings about that. Had I been able to stand here and say to my colleagues that, listen, I had 20 people call me, 10 were for, 10 were against. That's one thing. But I didn't receive one call in support of this. And we must ask the question, why? Even if you're going to vote it in anyway. Still worth asking, why is that the case? Because those are the type of questions and conversation that will stir more conversation so that we can have some form of communication.
Vice Mayor Parnas?
Yes. Ben, I agree with you that District 2 was left behind many years ago, probably for more than 100 years. But this is now. I've learned over my years that unless a city grows, it dies. We have an opportunity to take a lot that's 50 years vacant and build something good on it. That will not hurt your neighborhood. That will lift up getting rid of a vacant lot that's been there for 50 years and putting a new homes there. It may not be what I want, but it's better than nothing. It's a step in the right direction to grow the neighborhood. And that's the goal. It can't stay vacant until, well, they don't like this project and they don't like the way those houses are designed and they don't like the height. And no, that's not how a city grows. A city grows because it has in mind to take what's vacant and make something better out of it. And that's the plan. After 50 years of being vacant and waiting for the right project to come along, maybe this is the second choice, but it's better than no choice. That's the point. What was in the past, nobody on this panel was alive when District 2 was put down. I agree, it was, but this is now. Let's live in the present. And the present says, what can we do to improve that lot that's been there for 50 years? We have somebody willing to build single-family homes. Now, we could go on with this argument, say, well, I don't like the design, even if we did have single-family homes. Maybe they should be this shape or that shape. Maybe the driveway should be on the other side. Maybe we should ask the people how big the driveway should. It has to stop somewhere. These are reasonable homes, single family, that'll improve your neighborhood. That's the goal. Leaving it vacant, in my opinion, is not an option. It's better than leaving it. We have somebody willing to come in and invest this money that it's going to be successful. And it's up to us to say, let us take advantage of that. It either gets better or it gets worse. There's no staying the same. And after 50 years, we can't just let it stay the same anymore. What happened 50 years ago isn't today. And this commission's trying to take an empty lot and improve it. That's why I'm for the project.
Commissioner Drosky?
Thank you, Mayor. My comments are exactly in line with Vice Mayor Parnas. So I'm not going to speak and repeat what he said. The only thing that I will add to what the Vice Mayor had to say was that just think about the chilling effect that this would have if we were to vote this project down. This is with no disrespect, this is a vanilla project. It's not out of character for the neighborhood. Can you imagine others who are watching us that want to invest in this area, who want to come in, what they would think if we were to shoot this project down? Why would anyone else want to invest or develop in this area if this commission is going to shoot such a vanilla project down? I think it sets a very bad example. It sets a chilling effect for the entire community. And this is the exact reason why we should go forward. We had the ULI that came in and said, this is the exact project that this neighborhood needs. And so we need to move forward.
Thank you. Commissioner Preston, you calling the vote?
It's not a thing, Commissioner Drosky, of something that's vanilla and people who are watching, because this is not going to be shot down. Okay, so they can watch all that they want. And if they're watching, it is good that they know that this community has an opinion. That opinion doesn't necessarily have to agree with their opinion. We're dealing with a lot more substantive issue other than just a vote. There's a lot of things behind this that has never been dealt with. This is just a concern that people have. It's sort of the symptom of an illness has been there for a long time. And what we do is treat the symptoms and never the illness. So let's call the vote.
Okay, we're gonna call the vote. Commission, looking for a motion.
Motion to approve.
Second.
Motion by Vice Mayor Parnas, second by Commissioner Hudak. We have a roll call, please.
Commissioner Drosky?
Yes.
Commissioner Hudak?
Yes.
Commissioner Preston?
No.
Vice Mayor Parnas?
Yes.
Mayor Vance?
Yes.
Okay, we're now on item number 10. I read the title and previously. This is the related plot application number 19-P-220.
Any staff comments?
Staff does not have any comments at this time, Mayor.
Okay, I'm going to open it to the public. Speak. Item number 10. I don't see anybody online. Is it Sean said something yet? Good. I don't see their hand up. Is Sean still there? Sean, would you like to speak? Can I just need your name and address for the record, please? You're on mute. There you go, Sean.
Hey, good night, guys. I'm a property owner here, and I kind of agree with Commissioner Preston.
Sean, I'm sorry, Sean, I'm so sorry. I need your name and address for the record, please.
Sean Cover, and address is 224 Southwest 1st Street.
Okay, go ahead, sir.
Like I said, I agree with Commissioner Preston. The community has been neglected. I recently purchased a home for the past 2 years, and I'm actually open to the idea of new development. However, the community needs to have a say in regards to how the development is being executed in terms of parking, amenities, infrastructure. We just don't want some shacked up homes because somebody got some money to invest for their own benefit, because we're the ones that live in there. And I agree with you guys partially, the fact that the community has some bad areas, but it has been cleaned up thanks to the BSO. However, the comment about junkies hanging out there, that's not entirely true. And if that's what I think about the community, it's kind of disrespectful to the residents there. So my take is this: before I vote, I would need to see some plans, some logical plans, because I do plans myself. I need to see how many houses, how are they going to lay out, how the parking structure, not just somebody getting paid to shut them out and let something build, because I'm not stupid. Okay, so I'm not trying to offend anybody, but before we vote on this, we need to see something properly planned out and designed. That's my take on it.
Thank you, Sean. Appreciate it. Is there anyone else online? I don't see anybody. Anyone in the public care to comment on this item?
Good evening. Alicia 14140 Northeast 5th Street, Deerfield. I just have a question. What's the restriction? What's the restriction that we're talking about? I'm sorry I wasn't here. I was late. But we're on item 10?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, what are we amending? What's the restriction?
We can get that answered for you. You have any other comments?
How are we discussing something we don't know what we're discussing?
Every staff, we can explain it to you.
I'm sorry I was late. I just wanted to know.
That's
what
okay. You were
restriction
late.
is.
It's all right. We can explain it to you and say if you have any other comments on it. Or
I
you
can't
just-
comment until I know.
I'll
what
let you
the
come back up.
restriction
How's
is.
that?
Okay.
Okay, thank you. Anyone else?
Terry Scott, 180 Southwest 3rd Avenue. Well, I know y'all don't quite understand. District 2 won always District 2. Matter of fact, we was on the east side. My family's been here 108 years in this city. I'm not a newcomer, like some of our commissioners. Okay, been here. From the east side, I know the history of this city. Then we moved, you moved us over into where now is District 2 across the track of Dixie. Okay, when anybody else come before this commission, it's come to work together. And I've been here from many meetings, many commissions. This community has always had a say in it. Now I'm here tonight and I wouldn't give a care what you said about Delta Arts here, because paint was painted. Somebody did us a cheap job. Okay, so we need to understand that. And then we need to understand that this community has yielded out for help with code enforcement. We have tried to work, and I can say it because I'm one of the most Black workers you can find in this district and in this city. And we have worked with code to make some things happen. Well, did it happen? I cannot say that. Okay? But we've tried. And when we see our error and our fault, we'll always try to make the difference. Don't insult our intelligence. All we're saying to this project is give us a project that we can be pleased with. Not what you can be pleased with, but us as a community can be pleased with. If it's the height, then tell the developer to work with us on the heights. If it's parking, tell the developer to work with us. As you have told many other developers on the east and the central of District 3, when they was building the townhomes out there on the golf course, and in District 4, give us that same level of respect. Don't disrespect us and make us sound to be ignorant people. We are not that. We are not against a project. We want a project. We want development. But we want something we can work with and that can work with us. That's all we're asking you all. You're making it sound like we don't want nothing. Commissioner Pontier, Commissioner Outage, Commissioner Gulfstreet, you're acting like we don't want nothing there. We do want development. Can I please?
Yes, you can.
We want development. We want something to happen. We don't want 50 years to come back by. But we want something that we can work with, that we feel good about. As the residents that live there. It's unfair to insult them and make them feel bad when we cannot speak out against what you're saying. Don't do that to us, Mr. Mayor. Please don't do that. But give us a chance to be heard. That's all we are asking. We want development. We talked good about the 4 houses that Ms. Glenda built, the one that Laura Parrish built. Come on, give us a chance. All right, thank you all.
Thank you. Anyone else from the public on the side? And if we could have staff, please address specifically what this item is for number 10 for Ms. Portier, so she can come back up.
Sure, this is the plat application amendment. The Laura and Glenda Estates plat, which is a map, consists of 8 lots. The 4 lots on the west of the street and the 4 lots on the east of the street. The plat restriction currently reads that it's limited to 8 single-family detached units. What is being proposed is an amendment to that restriction to provide for the plat to be restricted to 8 townhouse units on lots 1 through 4, which is the west side of the street, and 4 single-family detached units on lots 5 through 8, which is the east side of the street.
Yes, ma'am. Go ahead. Your name and address for the record, please.
Irene Building Suite 108, Southwest First Court, Deerfield Beach, Florida. On this project comments there, I have no problems with the development, but what I do have a problem with is the way that the area is depicted. My mom is on First Street. We've been there since, I'm in my 70s, so the house that was there, you know, the area where people get up. I do not like the depiction of, you know, 50 years, I keep hearing that vacant. I'm sure up on the east side, there are vacant lots that's been over there, because I know too, I grew up here. So the things that are going in, the homeowners are trying to keep the area as much my property, my mom's property. We're trying to do the best that we can. I'm not against development, but I want the input from the community to be heard. Not, you know, some areas, yes. There are some things that I call cold on myself. I'm trying to keep my general area straight. So give us a chance to voice some opinions to be heard, and no negative comments, because I can only do my area. The house next to me, I can only report. So there are things that I see that are not to my standard, but it's other people's property. So give us a chance to, you know, we're trying to keep our community and the housing, not against it, but give us our input, give us the respect. Okay, thank you.
Thank you. Anyone else from the public on the side?
Aisha O'Neill, 262 Southwest.
Can you pull the mic a little closer to you? I'm so sorry. Mask make it hard for everybody here.
Aisha O'Neill, 262 Southwest First Terrace. I also like to say, give us a chance. The development will be great for the community, but you also should hear what the community has to say. I too have been living on First Terrace all my life, and it's not always been that way. True indeed, those who have brought the property are no longer with us. So those like myself and my sister, we're trying our best to keep up what was left to us. And for sure, we work every day. And we want to see a better neighborhood that is one hit way to, that's why we're putting the library there, so that those in the community don't feel like they have to go other places. They have what they need, but the city must still listen to those who are there and doing their best. I don't mind calling code, but code doesn't always respond. We have to call multiple times, because I don't want to see a couch that is left from someone who cares nothing about the neighborhood. So the development will be a awesome thing for those who want to have property later on in life. 50 years is a long time, and I've been here 37 years, and I've never seen a house there. So to see something that is put there for good means, I think it was awesome, but I do think that to take into consideration those who are there and the community. And the things that were said, yes, we're trying our best. So don't think that we don't care. We're trying our best, those who are there.
Thank you. Anyone else from the public? Yes, ma'am.
Shirley Sands, 182 Southwest First Court. Tony Parrish was a person who didn't want to sell anything. I lived across the street from his apartments before they built the 2 new homes. And he just was that type of person. He didn't want to sell anything. And so that's why it stayed vacant all that long time.
Yeah, I think that's definitely a problem that we have. A lot of people just want.
Right, because he owned a lot of that strip on Dixie Highway. When you see Dunkin' Donuts, he owned that area in there.
Thank you, Sam. Appreciate it. Anyone else in here? I'm gonna go to T. Lee online.
Hello, my name is Tarisha Lee. I'm at 179 Southwest First Court. I have actually been in the neighborhood 6 years now. And when I moved into my home, there were more vacant lots than there were actually homes. In these last 6 years, I have seen beautiful homes built and amazing families occupy it. I am 100% for this project. I think not only would it be great for the neighborhood aesthetically, it's amazing. We have more than enough vacant lots in Deerfield Beach, and particularly this neighborhood. If people will miss the vacant lot that is this potential development, just go down the other side of the street and there are 2 vacant lots there as well. I don't think we should tear down this project because it doesn't look like the other homes. I think townhomes will be a beautiful entrance into the neighborhood coming off of Hillsborough. And I think we should actually look for more developers and projects like this. Thank you.
Is there anyone else online? See any hands raised. Anybody else here in the chamber? Ms. Portier, would you like to come up?
I don't know, maybe my brain isn't working or I'm missing something here. But item 9 was you approved the rezoning, correct?
Correct.
Okay. Item 10, is this something that requires two readings?
Yes, this is the second reading. Yes, ma'am.
And you said that the restriction is right now the property is restricted to single family homes.
Correct.
Detached single family homes.
Or the numbers are, can you repeat it again?
Yeah, sure. And for clarification, yes, there's 2 readings on the rezoning. There's 1 reading for the plat application. So item number 10 is a resolution. It's 1 reading. It's currently restricted. The plat is currently restricted to 8 single-family homes. And when I say the plat, that's the east and the west side of the street, all 8 lots. What's being proposed is to restrict it to 8 townhome units on the west side of the street and the 4 single-family homes on the east side of the street. So the east side pretty much stays the same. West side goes from 4 single-family homes to 8 townhomes.
Okay. Has this developer presented any kind of drawings, plans, any?
Yes, last week.
Last week?
But we're not approving the site plan.
Right, no,
That's why
I
parking is
understand that,
not
I
part of
understand. It's just, I don't know. I just thought you'd take off the restriction first before you actually, I don't know. It just seemed like it's backwards to me. So I don't know, it's a technical thing, I guess. Is that
Yes,
correct?
ma'am. Yes, ma'am.
That's backwards.
Thank you.
I have a restriction.
Anyone else from the public? Let's see if I have anyone. I'm gonna go ahead and close it to the public. It's not an opinion. It's not trying to make a statement, and it's certainly not a blanket statement that says the entire neighborhood looks the way some of the things have been described. It's reality though when you drive around that neighborhood. Nobody's blind. Drive around and look. There are great houses. There are people that are doing the best, and it shows. But there are other places where they just simply don't care. And to say that if you drive down the street right now, I did before tonight, it's the 3rd visit I've gone over there and looking at this, but tonight on the way here, I drove around the neighborhood and took a look at everything. And that's why I make the statements that I do, because I could have videotaped it. It's brought it up here tonight and showed you. It's not lie. Let's be honest. Area needs help. There are people doing it. There's some people that can't do it that are still trying their best, but there are people that don't care. And I really don't have a problem with community activists who go around saying they're doing all these things to improve that area, and yet they're going to ignore some of the most easiest things to fix, like picking up garbage or painting a building or doing something simple that they know they have control of. I have a problem with that. And I'm not here to say that I'm not listening. That's why I've been asking the questions. Explain to me exactly what the issue is. If you say it's height, well, height doesn't, you can't bring that argument into it because height is allowed now. If it was a single family home, height can go up to 3 stories. Okay, so what's the next step? We want a single family home because it's more stability. That's your opinion on it. But this is not like we're putting in a massive group of apartments. These aren't rentals. They've already stated that. These aren't rentals. Could they be changed to rentals? I don't know, but I will tell you right now, if they're a single family home, they could be rented. Certainly that would be an issue. But let's not turn a blind eye to what else is all around there if you're so opposed to having something that's not a single family home. Again, look at the quadplexes that are up and down there. That is not helping the neighborhood. This is something that is reasonable. If it wasn't reasonable, we wouldn't be debating it. It would be go away, go work with the neighborhood and come up with something that's reasonable. That's why I've asked the questions. Don't just say, well, it's always been bad or we don't want it. Explain to me exactly what you're opposed to. And I haven't heard anything that hasn't been able to be countered that adds up to say no to this project. I've heard everything. And that's what I want to hear. So I can understand a little bit better. So I don't see anything that's been presented that would say no to this project. So that's why I support it. But certainly people are being heard, and it's certainly not a blanket statement to insult anybody, but it's also reality. Happy to walk the street over there and point out that anybody who may not see it. Happy to. But your voices certainly have been heard. I don't want anybody to feel they haven't. Commission? Looking for a motion?
Motion to approve.
Motion from Commissioner Hudak, second from Commissioner or Vice Mayor Parnas. We have roll call, please.
Commissioner Drosky,
Yes.
Commissioner Hudak,
Yes.
Commissioner Preston,
No.
Vice Mayor Parnas,
Yes.
Mayor Dan.
Yes.
We're now at the public comment portion of tonight's agenda. Persons addressing the commission shall state his or her name and address and may speak for 3 minutes unless extended for 1 additional minute by the mayor. As a reminder, this is the public comment portion for items that are not on the agenda tonight. If you have comments about items on the agenda, you speak during the public comment when that agenda item is called. And no comment shall be made related to the personal life or personal qualities of any person, and no language which would offend persons' ordinary sensibilities shall be permitted.
Thank you. Is there anyone who's online? Don't see any hands raised. Is there anyone in the chambers like speaking on an item that's not on the agenda? Yes, you can come on up. Name and address for the record.
Leonard Arabia, 2051 Southeast 3rd Street. I'm appearing before the commission and the mayor for the 4th time to discuss public safety. I would like to read this into the record. Instead of focusing on public safety, which is the issue, and as mayor and commissioner, it's your most important duty. The mayor has avoided that issue as demonstrated by his convoluted unilateral rant in responding to what are clearly non-issues. As part of the mayor's retort to the safety issue, he referred to a 6-year-old newspaper article that references dogs walking on the sidewalk and relieving themselves. The mayor needs to explain how that relates to public safety when he has not been asked to vacate or alter the existing dog ordinance so that he can provide public safety. 2, he referred to the inconvenience to diners at the Wyndham Hotel outdoor restaurant patio because someone walks with their dog 7 feet away and 4 feet down on the street. As an official of the city, he should not allow his personal feelings to dictate public policy. Truth to the matter is, per the restaurant manager, Matthew, they actually allow dogs in the restaurant and in the eating area. So what is the mayor talking about? The mayor then stated his personal feelings that a person has no need or right to walk along South Ocean Way with their dog. This is another example of his self-serving, unilateral, personal opinion, which is clearly prejudicial and a form of discrimination and an abuse of his authority, taking precedent over public safety. His concern regarding the diners at the Wyndham is misplaced. If he was concerned with their well-being, he would ban the hundreds of cars and motorcycles with radios blaring so loudly that any person within 20 feet of the vehicle vibrates as they go by. Additionally, the unmuffled exhaust noise and fumes causing people to choke. The mayor indicated at the last commission meeting that he places more importance on the potential loss of revenue from 18 parking spaces rather than afford the public a safe way to walk. The mayor has established through his actions, and therefore the city of Deerfield Beach, not only discrimination, but absolutely no concern for the safety of people who choose to walk with their dog along a public way, which is their right. I am totally baffled by the lack of interaction and concern. May I have another minute, please?
Sure.
And concerned by all the commissioners regarding this issue. I would respectfully suggest that if the mayor and the commissioners are incapable of performing the required duties to ensure public safety, that a commission needs to be formed to address the issue on South Ocean Way. And in closing, before the next commission meeting, I would ask that the commissioners be polled as to whether or not they believe there is a safety issue or no safety issue by people walking in the street with their dog. Thank you.
Thank you. Anyone else from the public? Yes, ma'am.
Yes, my name is LaWanda Pack, 262 Southwest First Terrace, Deerfield Beach. I've sat here all full tonight because my daughter, Aisha O'Neill, has done a wonderful thing in our city. When she brought this to fruition 3 years ago, she's worked on it for just that long. She left and moved to, she was in Tallahassee, Florida in college. She left Deerfield Beach in 2002. But her goal was to come back to her city where she grew up and make a difference. And I thank God for everything that she has done in the last 8 years, 5 or 6 years that she has been back at home. And I want this commission to know, she grew up walking and running around this city all of her life, but to come back, to give back community service to our city is amazing. I love everything that she is doing, and I ask you to embrace this because it's an awesome thing. There are only 2 free little libraries in the vicinity. There are 3 of them. 2 are in Boca Raton, 1 in Pompano Beach, but we have 1 here in that dilapidated area. But it's not dilapidated because for 57 years I've lived here. But we're making it better. The difference is being made. So let us embrace the change, yes. But just look at it differently, Mayor. I know you can ride around all day long, but it's changing. But it's changing for the better. You have these young people that are coming up, trying to make the difference. Just let's embrace it and let's move forward. And I thank God. Thank you Commissioner Preston, for not turning your head when you drove by, stopping and seeing what the little girl was doing outside. Thank you.
Ms. Pack, I have one question for you. Packer Rattlers or FSU?
Neither.
Neither. Nice.
FAMU's.
Well,
He's a
FAMU,
FAMU graduate.
that's Rattlers.
Yes.
Yes. Outstanding. Anyone else from the public?
Who's 14 and 140 Northeast First Street. Since, and I know this, this is not really touching on what happened tonight, but because of this rezoning of this item, I was wondering if you all could just, since we have people who are going to be affected in the future, can you all just give the citizens who are here just a little overview of what you have planned in terms of redevelopment for District 2 in terms of the opportunity zone and the, we hope, upcoming plan that we're going to be talking about in the future for the Dixie Corridor and over the 3rd Avenue. Just you don't have to talk all night. Just give them a brief overview of what the opportunity zone is and what it means and how it's going to affect zoning and other changes that may happen as the redevelopment starts and begins.
Thank you.
If that's okay.
Thank you. That's, I'll be honest with you, that's probably not going to happen tonight with the agenda that we have, but certainly that's something we should be able to talk about in the future.
All right, thank you.
Terry Scott, 64. I'm sorry. Terry, 180 with 3rd Avenue. Mayor, I heard you say that you rode around the city. Now I'm going to invite you to come and walk the city with me. If you don't mind, come and walk with me. We'll have a good time walking. You'll meet many of your residents. Okay? Come and walk with this community activist. Okay? So tonight, if you'll give me a time and date that we can walk together. All right? Thank you.
As long as it's not tonight.
It won't be tonight, Mayor.
Thank you. Yes, ma'am.
Shirley Sands, 182 Southwest First Court. I'm here to speak on the traffic light right up here. There's a danger up here because we don't have an arrow that goes over to this area. Like if you get there and you want to make a left, you're there forever trying to get across because the people who are coming from the east, they're going to the west, and you just can't get across. And also it applies to the ones that are coming from the east that's going to be turning on 2nd Avenue. And is there any way you could get an arrow there? But someone's going to get hurt. I'm there every day coming over to Deerfield Beach Elementary, and I have a really difficult time trying to get across. I used to come down to the police station, and I go across in that area.
I think the issue is because it backs up into the railroad tracks. That might be part of the issue.
Yeah, it's so backed up. Thank you.
Thank you. Anyone else? No. Okay. I don't think it's even consistent online. No, I'm gonna go ahead and close it to the public then. Mr. Preston.
I'm a little sorry that the gentleman who was speaking left, because I had a couple of questions for him.
You didn't say last time either.
And I wanted to know, and exactly hearing from him, not anybody explaining it on his behalf, but what does he want the city to do? What does he want the commission to do? He was telling us how inept we are. And it seems to be, and this is something that I was talking about earlier. When people don't talk, it's hard to move the needle in the right direction. It seems to me, from what he was doing, that maybe he had a good point to make, but his attack was strictly at the mayor. That's just not right. It would be better to say, here's what what I need, here's what would make the situation better, and explain those things in detail. And, but I'm sorry that you left it, because I wanted to ask him directly, what is it that you want? How do we make the situation better? And I think it's important that all of us, when we are dealing with anything in the city, that especially that concerns tax-paying citizens, that we do one thing bigger than we can do anything else. What is that? Listen. Listen. And then sometimes we hear best, not with the naked ear, but with the second and third ear. What are they really saying? What is it that they want? And then building, crafting around it. What is it that you want the city to do, sir?
Well, hold on a second. We're not going to do it from there. If you want to come up, you can come up to the podium and your name, reference, the address.
I called you today.
Yes, and I didn't have my phone with me, and I apologize.
Okay, the reason that I called you is that I wanted to know exactly what it is that you want. How can we fix this problem?
We need your name and address for the record again, Mr.
Senator Behavior, 2051 Southeast 3rd Street.
And sir, before you get started, because I want to hear it, the problem is not the mayor. The mayor is one of 5 people on this board that is here to try to help the situation, and that's his commitment. So how is it that we can collectively work together to solve whatever the issue is? What do you need, sir?
I think the frustration that I have right now at this point is that despite there being a safety issue, which I will comment on in a second, all I have heard back is nothing. I've heard the mayor put forward reasons why he thinks someone with a dog would have no reason to walk along South Ocean Way on the west side. Because of the dog ordinance, and I understand why there is a dog ordinance, I understand people, don't like dogs, and although I've not seen it personally in 3 years, people do clean up when they walk. You are allowed to walk with your dog on the west side of South Ocean Way. There were 2 areas, one just north of the Embassy Suites, in which there's no sidewalk, and you have to walk in the street. The distance between the cars that are parked at an angle and the area where you cannot walk is approximately 11 feet. A parking spot in a shopping center for a car is 9 feet wide. So how does one walk with the dog on a leash in an 11-foot area when the cars are going by, and a lot of times your back is to the cars? How do you walk in a 2-foot area? I mean, I have 8 children. I'm not blind to taking care of things. But I believe, as an owner and a resident of Deerfield Beach, if I want to take my dog for a walk, not necessarily to relieve itself, because I have a small dog and it's pretty much an inside dog, I should be able to walk along the beach and look at the water. A more egregious situation is from the north side of the Wyndham to the next street, which I think might be Second Terrace or something. There is no sidewalk at all. And you have the same exact situation. You have 19 parking spots on the east side of South Ocean Way. And I understand the revenue. I am a businessman. I get that part. Then you have the street. Then you have the Wyndham with all of their Wyndham is set back, but according to the town engineer who I spoke to today, I've been talking to different departments. There is a right of way that belongs to the city. And that right of way does not exist. It's landscaping running along the Wyndham. So again, there is no place to walk. And if you're familiar with the area, there's a lot of cars. I've been hit by a side view mirror walking with my dog from the car. I'm walking south in the car going north. I've had some phone calls from different city residents who, one woman in her 80s was actually injured when she saw a car coming and she got nervous and she tried to get off of the street. And she fractured her ankle and was laid up for 4 weeks. I'm only asking that when I go for a walk and I want to bring my dog with me, which I have a right to do, that the city provide a means for me to walk on South Ocean Way. If you have an ordinance that bans dogs being on the sidewalk, then provide a safe method for somebody to walk on the street. Unfortunately, I didn't stay for the last, and I know it's starting to get a little personal. I even brought crayons and a little sheet for you tonight.
Good, I'm glad.
Okay. I know it's getting a little personal, but the mayor seems focused on reasons not, I don't know whether he doesn't consider it a safety issue, but reasons why you should not be able to walk. Why, he even said, I looked at the show afterwards, whatever, and you know, he made a statement, he can see no reason why someone would want to walk with the dog. Where are they going? I mean, that's not the rationale that should be applied here. The rationale is, I'm a resident of Deerfield Beach. I have a dog. There are many, many people in that area that have dogs. And why should they be forced to walk in the street? I mean, I've asked questions about, is there any other place in the city? I did a public request, okay? And there's nothing anywhere that I can find in talking to different departments that say you must walk your dog in traffic on a street, even though there's a place for people to walk on the other side of the street. I'm not asking for the ordinance. I'm just asking for some sort of accommodation. And I happen to be an engineer, and I've been in the construction business for many years, along with other businesses. There is a very simple solution to this, but it's going to require losing 18 parking spaces, the revenue from those 18 parking spaces. You could easily put a carpet up, even using temporary type fencing, okay? So there wouldn't even be any construction involved. You could have a few people from the city go out there and in one day put up a line of fencing that would allow a corridor for people to walk. With dogs, without dogs, there's no place for the bicycles. That's another issue. Along South Ocean Way, there's a bicycle lane, except from the Wyndham to the south corner of the next street. It's not safe.
Sir, I understand what you're saying, and now I understand. Now I have a better picture of what you want. But let me also say to you, if you would you give me a call?
I will. I have your number and I apologize again. I didn't have my phone.
The other thing I'm gonna say to you is that tonight, you saw us challenge each other tonight, where there was tremendous disagreement here. The mayor is not committed to making your life harder. That's not how he operates. So I think that the attacks, and I read them and I saw them, that's unfair. It's unfair. Now, you get a situation resolved, I'm all for that, to listen to you, but it shouldn't be that way. Tonight, not only your issue, but you saw that there was an intense debate and disagreement. That's okay, and that's fair. So, you know, the people that are here, I believe, are committed to looking at you as a resident. You're a tax-paying citizen, sir. You matter. You're the most important resource the city has. Above business, above everything else, is its residents. That's how I feel. And I know that the people here want to be able to serve you. So if you would, sir, give me a call, we can talk about it, I'll come over, we'll do whatever we can, but we'll get a lot more done when we all can communicate and understand that everybody's position here is to serve, not to ridicule.
I understand that, and I concur, but I will tell you, this has been a long process. And if you go through my first email, this is my fourth appearance here.
Right.
I I have spoken directly to my commissioner. Nothing. I come here and I present issues to the mayor. And you know, I can be sarcastic. I think the mayor probably can be sarcastic when he wants to be. But, and I don't mean to make it sound offensive or sarcastic, but I'm getting very frustrated. I'm not getting any response. Is that if you don't think it's a safety issue, then say it as the commission. Say, there's no safety issue. You're on your own. But if there is a safety issue, needs to be addressed, and you know, we need to do something about it. That's where my frustration is coming. I'm not trying to be abusive, and I think the mayor, just my little interaction with him is a hard-skinned person just like I am. But I even got a email from somebody that the mayor wanted to know my phone number and my email address to contact me. Never happened. I spoke, I believe, once or twice with Commissioner Huddock. He referred me to somebody. I have talked to the community redevelopment, planning board, building commission, engineering. I think there's even a question as to how, if there's a public right of way from the side of the street running along the Wyndham, how the Wyndham was allowed to just put landscaping in. I mean, that's what the city engineer told me today. She wants me to go see the planner, and I plan on doing that next week because my next couple of days are busy. And I mean, I want the right thing to be done. That's all I want. Okay.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you. Thank you for your time.
Thank you.
Don't forget the phone.
I will.
City Attorney, can you just comment one thing, whether you want to call it a safety issue or not? If you choose to walk, if you choose, it's not a right that you have. If you choose to walk in the street, yeah, it becomes a safety issue. You choose to do that. My point was, and he says he doesn't want to talk about it being the ordinance change. Originally, when he first sent an email, and I tried to research it, I asked somebody to make sure I had the right contact information. I get a chance to get back to him in that short 2 weeks because I was busy. But he came here, we tried to talk to him, he walked out, walking out now. But City Attorney, do people have a right to be able to do that?
Mr. Mayor, there's no unqualified right to walk your dog wherever you want on property that is not yours, and that includes city property. And I think that there has been case law that's upheld restrictions like no dogs on the beach or no dogs on the certain sidewalk or in a certain portion of the park. And the section that's relevant is 1010 of our city code, which explicitly makes it unlawful to walk dogs along the sidewalk abutting the public beach, in the grass area, in the sidewalk abutting that beach, and that public right of way that the gentleman spoke of today.
The problem becomes, do you want to give up 18 parking spaces, 18 more residents, the ability to park down by the beach? So someone it feels that it's their right to go walk their dog and look at the ocean at the same time. It's not a right. So that's where I think there's a disagreement how to approach it. Certainly over on that corner, there's space limitations. The sidewalk would have continued if it could have. It's not the case. And I don't, if we want to do a poll, does anyone want to get rid of the 18 parking spaces to resolve this issue?
I have my hand up.
All right, you do? You want to get rid of 18 spaces?
No, I had my hand up to speak. I not
Okay,
having.
right ahead.
May I?
Yep.
I'm going to put it in another light. If we all have the right to walk our dogs wherever we want, would it be prudent for me to walk on I-95 with my dog? I have rights. I'm a citizen. I pay taxes. No, of course not. It would be suicide for both me and the dog. The city has the right to restrict where people can go at certain times. We recently had a curfew due to the COVID by the county. We all had rights, but the county took them away for a while because of the emergency and the safety of the citizens. walking a dog in the street by the beach where it's overcrowded with traffic is a personal thing that I wouldn't subject my dog to. There are plenty of places for me to walk the dog without showing him the ocean, period. So that if you have to walk your dog in the street there, why would you take your dog to a dangerous place? It doesn't make sense to me. You might as well walk your dog on 95 because it gives you a better view of the landscape. You're up higher. No, I'm sorry. This is not an argument to have whether it's safety, give up parking. No, the city has the right to protect its citizens in the best manner it can. And if that means not walking dogs in a particular area because it's dangerous, the owner has to make that decision. The same way I wouldn't allow a 5-year-old to run on the beach street without holding my hand to make sure he doesn't run out and get hit by a car. If I'm dumb enough to let my kid go run free and he gets hit, I'm to blame, not the city.
Thank you, Vice Mayor. Appreciate that. Next item.
Mayor, we're now at the consent portion of tonight's agenda. Item numbers 11 through 11, 12, and 13 are on consent. If you want to hear them on consent or individually.
Do we have anything else? Commission?
No.
I don't see any polls. Is there anyone in the public who want to comment on any of these items? Is anyone written in? Any of the items that are on the consent agenda that is items number, make sure, items number 11 all the way through 13. Not seeing anyone coming forward. I'm going to have to close it to the public commission. We can approve it.
Motion to approve.
Second.
Second.
Commissioner Hudak, second from Commissioner Preston. And can we have roll call?
Commissioner Drosky,
Yes.
Commissioner Hudak,
Yes.
Commissioner Preston,
Yes.
Vice Mayor Parnas,
Yes.
Mayor Dan.
Yes.
We're now at comments by administration and legal. No comments tonight from the city attorney's office.
Okay. Item number 14, then, I guess. Up to.
Oh, I'm sorry.
Do you have comments, Mr. Mayor? Okay. We are now on city commission business. Item number 14 is discussion regarding a potential city charter review committee.
Commissioner Hudak, we'll let you take the board.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. I appreciate it. The city charter has not been reviewed since 2006. And it's my opinion that it's a good practice to at least get a committee together to review the charter. And I looked at, the backup material has a bunch of different, options that the various cities have adopted. And I think it's important that to make sure that our city is up to date, to make sure that our charter is relevant, that we do review it at least, once every 10 years or so. I don't have any specific items that I think need to be changed, that need to be updated. I just think it's good practice. We do that in business and human resources. We do that every 2 years with a handbook. And I think it's just important that the city has residents take a look at the charter and see if there are any areas for improvement. I looked at all of the different areas and I really like the model that the city of Weston has, where each commissioner would appoint a resident in his area, and the mayor would appoint a resident citywide, and they would have 180 days to look at the city charter to see if there are any areas of opportunities for improvement. No changes, of course, would be made unless, of course, it is voted on by the residents. But I just think it's good practice that we, have a review, and that's why I brought this item forward. and I'm looking for opinion from the commission.
Vice Mayor Parnas?
I agree. There are things in our charter that need to be brought up to date. And I think reviewing it every 10 years is excellent because times change, situations change, and we have to go with the flow. We can't be living in the 1920s in 2021. We have to be up to date and we have to review what we're doing as a city. And I support your idea 100%.
Commissioner Drosky?
Thank you, Mayor. I disagree 100%. We review the charter at every meeting that we come to. I mean, if there's an issue that comes up, we refer to the charter, we ask the city attorney. The charter always comes up and we're always discussing it without a specific, amendment or specific request. Reviewing the charter for the sake of reviewing the charter makes zero sense to me. And I'm going to be very blunt with this. I mean, if we ask the residents, to review this charter, the first thing you're going to get is you're going to ask for the repeal of the height restriction on the beach. You are inviting the height restriction. I get this request all the time, and it's in our charter. And if you want to destroy the character of District 1 and you want to destroy the character of the beach, then go ahead and create a charter review commission, because that's the very first one that's going to come out of the chute. This is a horrible idea without any suggestions, tangible suggestions of what needs to be fixed. I mean, the fact that let's review it to review it makes no sense to me. We need to have tangible reasons. What's wrong with the charter to look at it? And if there's something wrong with it, then we can always fix it. But in my 4 years, no one has brought up anything that's wrong with the charter that needs fixed. So just throwing out a committee without any specific purpose rather just doesn't make any sense to me.
Commissioner Preston?
I tend to agree more with Commissioner Drosky. If there is a question about specificity related to the charter, the city attorney can point us in the right direction. And let's just say there is a challenge with that. And, maybe if we see that, there are some questions that the commission had that we are challenged with, maybe, and multiple ones, not just one, but, maybe there would be more appropriate to appoint, a review committee. I don't see why it would be wrong now. It's just how I look at it.
But I'll be honest with you, I think this is a complete boondoggle. And I'll tell you the reason why, because I actually have some history of sitting up here now for over 12 years and seeing this and having been a part coming in and first coming to commission meetings and just sitting here for 2 years, listening to every single commission meeting. I saw the charter review board. Look at the history of how this has always been used. It's been a political game by people who have sat up here to do it, is what a charter review committee has been. And it's probably that way in other cities as well. It's nothing but a toy and a tool to manipulate. I can tell you exactly what they did. They did the last time they had a charter review. Now, there were people trying to manipulate, twist what was happening. The person who was the chairperson of the charter review, the last one we had, was Gene Robb. Okay, Gene Robb was the chairperson of that. No wallflower. Certainly, whatever Gene wanted, certainly would have happened. They played games with the changing of the elections to make sure certain people could run at a certain time and make sure one person didn't get an easy slot to go into there. It was a political boondoggle. The first thing they're going to do is exactly what Drosky said. They're going to go against the will of the people that voted and worked their ass off to make sure that we had height restrictions on the beach that saved our beach for future generations and left us in the place that we're in now, which is a good place. That people worked hard to put it up as a referendum and the people voted on it and put that in place. And you're going to have someone go in there and twist that and take away all their hard work and have that undone with this type of review. If you don't have anything to review, then don't review it. If something comes up and says, hey, we have an issue, this is a real problem for us, then yes, you can go ahead and take a look at certain items. But to just do blanket reviews on this, it doesn't work that way. This is not something you can apply to business take a look at it. There are people, generations of people, that put in a lot of hard work to write the rules the way they are. If they're not broken, why are we going to go in and tinker with it? Or worse, open the door for people with the wrong intent to manipulate it to get a situation in which you're going to lose all the hard work people have done before. You don't want to do that. It's an absolute boondoggle, in my opinion. I think it's the wrong thing to do, and it's not something that should be taken lightly, because it was absolutely manipulated the last time. And it's interesting that I hear people that say they want to change the dates of elections. Let's just take that one, for instance, and then try to point out that it's us or it's Pam Militello and Joe Miller. That's a bunch of garbage. Pam Militello asked for that to be considered and looked at. Charter Review Committee looked at it. Citizens, Gene Rod said, no, do not change it, keep it exactly what it was. And yet you've got knuckleheads out there trying to say that it was actually Pam Militello was the one who did it. They conveniently want to forget that it was Gene Rod who was the chairperson of that, only to have her years later decide to change her mind because she wanted to again play games. That's what you're opening the door to. Game playing. You don't want to do that, in my opinion. I think this is a really, really, I know your intent's good, Commissioner, without a doubt. I have no doubt. I don't quite know what you're looking to do or why this was even brought up to just randomly pick this out. But I can tell you, as somebody who has history being up here for a long time, being in these chambers beyond being an elected official, it is an opportunity for people to manipulate work that voters have put in place, and it's a dangerous thing to get into, in my opinion. Commissioner Preston.
I'm sorry, no.
Commissioner Hudak.
Well, the commission, I hear your words, and again, this is something that I personally thought was a good idea to make sure that, things are updated and relevant. But if that's what the commission wishes, then I'll go ahead and withdraw the motion.
Vice Mayor Parnas.
Yeah, before you do that, why can't we set up a review board that only reports back to the commission before it becomes a referendum item? If the commission.
That's the way they work. That's where they work, Vice Mayor.
What do you mean that's the way they work? Where they just decide what the people are going to vote on without the commission? Why can't we set it up that each item, if they do want to change anything, has to come in front of the commission for a vote before it goes to the ballot?
That is how it works, Vice Mayor. You're going to have a committee come before the commission, and they will present it, and the commission will then vote and determine if it's brought forward. I believe that's how that works, Mr. City Attorney. Is that correct?
Yes, the committee could not do it themselves. It's either by ordinance of the commission or by petition. Yes.
Yeah, so give you an example, again, going back to the voting thing, you had two people sitting up there that were eyeing to run for office. There was some horse trading that was done, and that's why things ended up the way they did in the last one. People manipulate things, and it's going to come before the commission, and I just think you're opening the door for a big mistake. If you got something specific in the charter, it's an issue, let's talk about it. Bring it forward, we'll do it. If not,
I'll agree to that. The reason I'm asking the question, Bill, is that you've had that experience, and that's why I'm asking.
Yeah.
And I'll agree with Mike to withdraw the motion if that's the case, and we want to keep the politics out of this. If there is an issue, any one of us can bring it up and discuss it at a commission meeting without it going through a charter review board. Am I correct?
Yeah. Yeah, well, I think eventually you can do that, but I think you have to point out what the issue is before you start going down that path. And I think that's where the concern should be. If you automatically write it in and we're going to review it every few years, that opens the chance for something to be changed and tinkered with when it shouldn't be. This is one of those situations that if it isn't broke, don't mess with it. Thanks, guys.
Thank you, Mayor. I do apologize. I do have one thing to bring up tonight because I did just get the information that I needed. There's a major water outage in Broward County right now. So basically anybody whose bill in Deerfield Beach is provided by Broward County is currently out of water. And when that water does come back on, there will certainly be a boil water alert Apparently their water plant, we had a major storm just come through here this evening, and it was struck by lightning several times, so.
That's some spots in District 2 and District 3.
2 and 3
And a
and
little bit of
4.
And 4 also?
And from what I understand, Independence Day has also been affected.
Okay.
We are now on comments by mayor and city commission.
I'm going to start with District 1.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. Just one quick comment. And this is a shout out to fellow Commissioner Drosky. A lot of the things that we do up here, everything we do here is for the residents and with your best interests in mind. But there are a lot of other things that we do to try to promote the city and to help the city moving forward. And we do that, behind the scenes. And for the last 4 years, Commissioner Drosky has gone over and above in developing relationships with, the Broward League of Cities. Just today, it was revealed that he was elected unanimously by the League Board of Directors and will begin to serve the role as secretary. And in 2023, he will actually become the president of the Broward League of Cities. This is the first time a commissioner in the city of Deerfield Beach has been given this honor. And it is the development of relationships that go a long way to keeping Deerfield Beach, relevant. There's a time not long ago when Deerfield Beach was considered a stepchild, where we were always pushed down and forgotten. And the members of this commission have stepped up to the plate tremendously to make sure that this city has a voice where a voice is needed. So I just wanted to commend Commissioner Drosky on all of those extra hours that he puts in that people do not see. Again, it is an honor to serve with all the members on this commission here. As you saw tonight, we do debate one another and sometimes we don't agree. But at the end of the day, I am extremely proud of all of the individuals up here and I am honored to serve with them. So I just wanted to thank you very much for your time, Commissioner Drosky, and everything you're doing for the city.
Thank you, Commissioner. Congratulations, Commissioner Drosky. It really is outstanding, and it's a huge thing for the city of Deerfield Beach. Thank you for your dedication. District 2.
Let me start off by saying, Commissioner Drosky, I read the email as well. And congrats to you being elected on the executive committee. That is quite a feat. Congratulations, well deserved. You have done well with the Florida League of Cities. Great job. I'd like to get an update from the city manager on the update of posting those signs about coyotes. Where are we with that?
Commissioner, we haven't posted any signs regarding coyotes at the moment. We are working with the FWC to schedule a meeting so that they can come in. They're going to start with an educational campaign, and we're seeing what signage they have available so we can get our hands on that to post in areas where there may be issues.
Are we identifying areas to where the problem is? Because if you don't know, I know some areas where people are walking now and they're seeing them quite regularly. I don't think that we need to wait for FWC. FWC can come in and give us an education component. I got no problem with that. But in the meantime, we need to identify the areas where we have a problem, put up some signs. Coyotes are here in this area before they attack somebody.
I would appreciate, yeah, that would be great if you could point out some of the areas where we can place those signs. I appreciate that.
The other thing is, I'd like to remind everyone that this is Black History Month. Let us not forget that. We had a gentleman come into this chamber many years ago. I'm sure many of you would remember him. He was a Tuskegee Airman who, Colonel Gray, passed away. But he came here to give out an award. And these kinds of things must be remembered. You see, Black history sometimes is isolated so that people look at it in an isolated way. But Black history is American history. When we say the Tuskegee Airmen, we need to understand exactly what that is all about. We need to understand the details of what happened. The United States of America conducted experiments on Black people. They conducted experiments, gave them syphilis, all kinds of things. And when it came to the Tuskegee Airmen, what was that all about? They were saying that, Black people were not intelligent enough to fly airplanes. That's how and the United States government, because they were in a war, said, let's take the brightest and let's see. And that was the experiment. Let's see if we can teach them how to fly airplanes. You know what happened with that? We need to understand this. White pilots that flew bombers got to the point that we only wanted to be escorted by these guys because they didn't lose. They didn't lose bombers. They were very recognized for what they did. There's a lot of people today don't even know what the Tuskegee Airmen is all about. They have no idea. So remember, in Black history, there's a multiplicity of areas that Black people throughout this country has contributed to the growth of this country and its history. And probably the big thing about Black history is that it is American history. And American history must be embraced by everybody. And if we did that, then Black history will always be remembered for what it is. It's not just the job of Black people to remind his brothers and sisters of different ethnic groups about the contribution of Black people. Everybody should be doing that. There was a lot of challenges by a lot of different groups, and that's what made us America. That's what makes the strength of this country and who we are. It's the diversity that we have. Contrary to popular belief, it's not a weakness. It's not a weakness, because right now, guarding this country is Black people, white people, Indian, Asian, all ethnic groups are represented. That's what makes us unique. You ain't gonna find it anywhere else. But we need to remember it. A lot of time when people talk about, and the reason I guess I wish it was better. So many people have asked since we have did the Juneteenth. Tell me about that. A lot of people just don't know. We were right on target by saying that the educational component is important. We're right on target, and so many people have said, really? That happened? They just don't know. So we need to really remember, we say Black History Month is February, but that's actually a short month. It's the shortest month of the year. So actually, Black history should be actually 12 months. So thank you.
Thank you. District 3, Vice Chair.
Preston, I'm a student of World War II. There was another outfit that's been overlooked. When we invaded Europe, most of the ports around were closed or destroyed by the Nazis. People like Patton moved very quickly, and they needed supplies. They needed gasoline. He needed 25,000 gallons a day to move his tanks forward. So they formed an outfit called the Red Bull Express, which were manned basically by African-American drivers and loaders. And they raced across through enemy territory to keep people like Patton supplied with goods. And they were recognized. And in reading about World War II, in which my dad served with Patton, I learned that although segregated during World War II, there were many outfits of many ethnic groups. The Tuskegee Airmen, in fact, there was the 442nd infantry outfit from Texas that was made up of Japanese American soldiers. And they were the most decorated outfit in World War II that fought in Europe. And the gag to them was, because they had white officers, when the Germans looked at them and they said, didn't you know Japan is now on our side? They lost. But they were, again, during World War II, African Americans Asian Americans were used smartly, wisely, and with honor, and they should be remembered, especially the Tuskegee Airmen and the Red Bull Express. As far as District 3, it's been a quiet since the last month. A few things that got approved that I'm happy about. And we did have, thanks to Commissioner Mark Bogan of the County Commission, a site in which 4,000 people received vaccinations in Century Village in my district, and booster shots. That's all I have.
Thank you, Vice Mayor. District 4.
Thank you, Mayor. I first want to thank my colleagues for all of your kind words about the Broward League of Cities, but make no mistake, this is not about me. This is about the city of Deerfield Beach. I am just the vessel to represent the city at that level. This is about the hard work that all of us have done here that makes us recognized. I individually did not create any of the good deeds that happen in Deerfield Beach. It takes all of us to do that. And the county and my colleagues countywide are noticing that, and Deerfield Beach is a player, and that's not because of me, that's because of all of you. And so I want to thank you for being on this journey with me, because I'm just a placeholder here. You know, I'll be gone one day and someone else will take my seat. And I hope that they represent Deerfield Beach just as strongly as the 5 of us do. So, but thank you. Nonetheless, my mom will appreciate everything you said tonight. In addition, March 6th is my next Saturday office hours. That will be here. I will be here at City Hall, but it's by Zoom or by telephone from 10 o'clock till noon. You can contact me directly or City Hall, and they can schedule that for you. And then the last comment that I have is I look forward to the coyote workshop with the Florida Wildlife Commission, because since I've been elected, you know, the coyotes have been in District 4, and I have yet to have any reports of an individual, a dog, or a cat being attacked. My understanding is that they're skittish by nature, and if you have a coyote that approaches, then it is rabid. And I'm not aware of a rabid coyote in Deerfield Beach. But I would like to learn more and know more. And because if we're going to put signs up, we're going to have to put them out throughout the entire city. They're everywhere. We just don't know it. So I would like to learn more before we institute some citywide policy. If there's some areas in District 2 that Commissioner Preston thinks that needs to be addressed, well, then I'll leave that to him. But as far as a citywide policy, I'd like to hear more from the Florida Wildlife Commission before going forward. And with that, that's all I have. Thank you.
Thank you. First, I'd like to start off with saying that congratulations to one of our own homegrown heroes, Jason Pierre-Paul, for being a Super Bowl champion and making Deerfield Beach proud. Not only is a great accomplishment for the city of Deerfield Beach, but says something about him. So one thing that he did that a lot of people don't know, the Boys and Girls Club here in Deerfield Beach, which he was a member growing up. This past Christmas, he went to them and said, I want to make sure that every single kid who's in this program has a bicycle. So he donated to make sure each one of them had a bicycle. Now the challenge was everybody was buying bicycles, so it was hard to find them. So that became a real challenge for the Boys and Girls Club. But they did it, they were able to do that. So not only is Jason Pierre-Paul a Super Bowl champion, he's just a super individual, and that's not something you would ask for press on, but that's just something that he deserves to be recognized for. I want to thank my colleague, Commissioner Drosky, for again the League of Cities, and Commissioner Preston said while you were talking, you're being too modest, but the truth of the matter is it is a really big deal. To get this recognition. It's been a lot of hard work to get the city of Deerfield Beach more of a seat at the table when it comes to county issues. And that's huge. So Commissioner Drosky, thanks for your dedication on it. I also want to thank, on top of all of them, but I want to thank Commissioner Preston for reminding us all tonight, sometimes when we sit up here, that sometimes it's just a matter of getting someone to pause, get through the rhetoric and the anger and just say, hey, what's your issue? So excellent job with that. And thank you for doing that. I don't think Mr. Ray is necessarily going to be happy with what our decisions are and our positions on some of the things. At least, everybody wants to be heard. And I think that's frustrating when we sit up here and that's why we debate. That's why we go back and forth. People might not get their way, but it doesn't mean you weren't heard. And what that does is plants a seed for the next time that comes before us to say, hey, let's keep in mind, because, one of the luxuries of being up here for a long time is I have a good memory of a lot of stuff that comes before us, a lot of the arguments and debates. So while there might be some things that weren't approved or went a certain way, it certainly gives us information that should something else come forward, we can either look at it from a different angle and keep certain things in mind. And so that's a good thing. I don't even feel they haven't been heard, because certainly they have. And as far as the coyote situation, I think the best thing we could probably do is just go order a bunch of road runners. I think if we put the road runners out there and coyotes, they're definitely going to be able to solve that problem. So that might be an angle we can look at. In all seriousness, the coyotes have been a problem. I know they're out there at waterways and it's Bay right now. There've been a lot of reports with some of the websites, people talking about that. And while I haven't heard a report of anyone being attacked or anything like that happening, I think there've been quite a few cats or so that I've seen over the years that may have found themselves on the menu somewhere with the coyote. So with that, I want to thank everyone, thank staff for everything that they've done for us. The meeting to adjourn. Motion to adjourn.
Second.
All right, all in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Adjourn, thank you.